Well, hey there. So, I've got another video on the go. This one is going to be where I start to get the engine fitted into the chassis now and get the pumps into place where I want them. I'm going to test fit a couple more belts that I picked up recently, but I also plan on getting some other parts mounted into the chassis. I have a nice aluminum reservoir for the hydraulic fluid. It was a really good deal for an aluminum tank. The aluminum is definitely going to help with the heat dissipation of the hydraulic oil. So that's going to get mounted right smack dab in that open area there. In addition to that, once I get the engine and the pumps and all these drive parts mounted, I'm going to start to build the upper platform that the cab of the Snowcat is going to sit on. So that's going to be made out of some 1.25" square tubing, and that'll be coming up pretty soon. So there we go. So it's a little tough to see under here, but I picked up a B42 and a B43, and the B42 has just enough deflection right now. It would probably run as it is. So with the tensioner pulley and probably a 10-pound spring, we'll apply just enough tension to the belt to keep it taut, and it's gonna work really well. I'm actually really glad I drilled those extra holes in this tensioner arm as well. I'm gonna move it out to the furthest hole just so that the actual tensioner pulley ends up kind of midway between the engine pulley and the first pump. So there we go. This is working out really well. I'm very pleased. So I've got a couple things going on in parallel here while I'm working on the base frame for the cab. I'm also getting the tensioner spring set up for the drive belt. So you can see here I moved that pulley out to the furthest hole out, and it's kind of sitting right between those two pulleys now. And the way that this sits underneath there, you can see that down there. What I'm planning on doing is having an arm come off of that assembly there on an angle, and then what I'll do is use this 18-pound spring to basically pull on that arm, and what that will do is push the idler into the drive belt and tension it for me, and that way it'll be easy enough for me to access the spring and release the tension on it when I need to, and then adjust it if needed. So that's the next thing that I'm doing now here. Okay, so we made pretty short work of that. I added this extra arm there that the spring is going to pull on, and sorry about that. Looks like we are about 8 inches center to center there, and some more like 10 inches there, so we'll get a little bit of advantage with the spring pulling on that, some extra leverage. I'm going to use the shorter 18-pound spring, so there should be hopefully not too much tension on that belt, just to keep it snug. And so all I did is I just drilled through the frame rail and added an eye bolt. That way I can just loosen that off when needed, and yeah, I think that'll work out well. So I'm going to put this in now. Boom, done. I ended up switching out back to the 13-pound spring. It should be plenty fine. So now we have, you can watch it. It is just beautiful in there. It just actually applies a nice amount of tension onto that belt, and I think it's going to work out beautifully. So yeah, there it is. It's done. On to the next part. Start to put together the base frame for the cab. It's exciting. It's all coming together. Okay, well, I've made some really fantastic progress here. I've managed to get the entire base frame tubular. Okay, well, I've made some pretty significant progress here. I've managed to complete the layout of the tubular base frame for the cab of the Snowcat. This is basically what the cab is going to be built up on. Ran into a couple issues. The first one, I had notched out this front plate here, and the whole frame was about 1.25 inches lower. And basically that crossbar ran right in front of those work ports on the hydraulic pumps. So back to the drawing board, I just ended up going with a straight piece, not notched out. And that's how I've got the clearance there at the back now. And yeah, there's a couple wings along the side. I think for one side I'll build a little compartment that'll house the gas tank. and there will be a small engine hump inside. I actually thought it was going to be a lot larger, but doesn't look like it's going to be too significant. Maybe 12 or 14 inches high. So might just build it out as a whole platform, kind of in the back section of the Snowcat. But overall, it's really coming together nicely. I'm very, very excited about how this is looking. Next tasks are going to be starting to get some of the linkages for the controls set up. I'm also going to get that hydraulic reservoir mounted inside there now. Unfortunately, with the height that I have from the lower frame up to the cab tube structure there, that hydraulic tank will tuck in there nicely, and I won't have to make another hump or work around it, so the floor of the cat will basically be flat all the way through. A little bump at the back there just to work above the top of the pumps, but no big deal. But yeah, I'm really happy with how things are shaping up here. It's starting to look pretty awesome. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this for now. Thanks. Bye.